we got to work on that.
Right. Just a little bit. We getting there.
Yeah, we definitely got to work on that. You know, it's not bad for the second show.
No.
Hey, what's going on, everybody on Media Room 360?
What's
happening? What's happening? It's your man Action Jackson, along with my friend over here,
Darius Scott. We in it.
Darius Scott in there, and this is 2Gs. 2Gs, 2 generations of conversation and trying to pull this thing together that we call life and getting it from 2 different perspectives as we do. And as you can tell, I'm not in my regular set, D, because normally you see Yoda in the background with some movie posters and other stuff.
Yeah.
And now it is, I'm actually in a hotel in Houston. We just finished a volleyball game with my daughter. We're here for a volleyball tournament for her in H-Town. And that's why, again, we're running a little late. Normally the show's at 7 o'clock on Saturday nights. And we want to bring it to you every Saturday night at 7 o'clock. But tonight we had to go a little late because I was kind of like on daddy duty. And Darius was so understanding, was like, yeah, man, go ahead and do your thing.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
How'd she do, actually? Did she do good?
Well, hey, what's up, David? Actually, they did all right. They end up going into the silver bracket. They had a chance to go into the gold bracket, and we were playing a little strategy today in the volleyball tournament because we actually threw a game because the situation, what happened was, if they had won this particular game that they were going to play, what's up, Kathy? Such a soldier. I love you for that, too. What happened with my daughter is that the team that they were going to play earlier this afternoon, if they would have beat that team, then they would have had to do a crossover, what they call a crossover in volleyball, and would have had to play at 7:30 tonight.
Gotcha.
And then if they won that 7:30 game, then they would be playing the number 1 seed in the volleyball tournament tomorrow morning, first thing. So we were like, let's not do that.
Right.
Not that they couldn't beat the number 1 seed now, but they were like, okay, let's not play. Let's throw this game, and then we'll get a easier kind of route to that number 1 spot. And so we end up throwing the game.
Okay.
The girls played well, but they threw the game. And then we played at 5:30 instead of at 7:30. But the key to that whole strategy was they had to win the 5:30 game. And they ended up losing the 5:30 game. So now they're in the silver bracket, but they play tomorrow for a silver in the tournament.
So what seed do y'all play tomorrow? Do you know?
No, not sure. In the silver bracket is those teams that are going for like number 2 in the tournament overall. So I'm not sure who we're gonna have to play. But the girls played well. My daughter played well. Everybody played well. I mean, this is Texas Lone Star. And if you don't know anything about Texas volleyball, everybody, let me just hip you up to something real quick. Texas volleyball is equivalent to Texas football, except for Texas volleyball is girls, of course. But if you know anything about Texas, you know Texas is a football state. From 8 to 80, yes. You know what I'm saying? Yep. You know Darius, right?
From preschool to college,
to
NFL, yep.
Yeah. You playing if you a guy in Texas and you're not playing Texas football, you know, it's a problem. But but for girls, volleyball is about the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like it goes federal. My girls were playing volleyball, both of my girls since like they were single digits. So
wow.
yeah, they've been playing for a while, and then both teenagers now. So it's been a long journey, but this is something that we do every year with the Lone Star here in Texas. Actually, it was canceled last year, I think, because of the COVID, but this year they brought it back. And so they're playing there here in Houston. And actually, COVID protocol, they split it up. Everybody typically plays at the Dallas Convention Center in Dallas. And but this year, again, because of COVID, they split up the tournament and they put the older girls here in Houston and the younger girls at the Dallas Convention Center. So my youngest daughter is playing at the Dallas Convention Center with my wife there, and then I'm here with my oldest daughter here in Houston. What's up, David? Longhorns all day. You already know then. So if you Longhorn, you already know. What's up, Billy? How you feeling, my friend? Billy's a soldier too. That's what's going on. And again, this is 2Gs. You got your man Action Jackson from Big Bink's Break Room Podcast, along with my girl Shawnee Scott and my friend Big Bink and my man Darius. And we like to come together on Saturdays just to talk about actually what's going on, what's happening in your world, but just again, take it from two different perspectives and what's going on as far as the generation is concerned. So with that being said, how was your week, man? What'd you get into this week?
Man, we're good. I mean, we're finishing up work. So, I mean, we're out here still stuck in Iowa. It's actually not as cold as it used to be. So we're just finishing up work. I'll be back in Texas next Saturday. So I'm ready to get back to that heat, back to that summer Texas heat.
Well,
actually, y'all got some rain and y'all weather was bad this week.
If you plan on coming back this way, man, you stay in Iowa, my friend. Stay in Iowa because it's cold here. For some reason, April. I mean, it was like my wife was saying it was like in the mid 40s up in Dallas, and it's no better here in Houston right now. It's cold. It's kind of cool and rainy. It's been that way all weekend long, but. That's Texas weather. If you don't like it, it'll change in 10 minutes.
Up and down, up and down.
That's what's up. Hey, Lucy, what's going on? How you doing? Hey, I appreciate everybody tuning in. And if you're tuning in right now, make sure you like and share the app, Media Room 360, and tell your friends and tell a friend about 2Gs on Saturday night and how we get down, me and my man Darius, and bringing you guys, the hottest and latest topics and just giving you our perspectives from two different generations. That's why we call it 2Gs.
2Gs.
Yeah, that's how it goes down. So actually, what are you doing? Where are you out of town? What's going on with that?
So actually, my dad and I, we kind of run our own IT company. So one of our biggest contractors is Walmart. So like Walmart will do a remodel every couple of years. So we'll come out and do all their IT work, make sure they got all their data. So pay is good. It's just traveling can be a little pain sometimes because they'll send you anywhere. Get us send you anywhere.
Come on, man.
This Walmart's anywhere and everywhere. That's okay. So I don't mind traveling. It's just like right where we're at, Spencer, Iowa. There's nothing to do. I mean, nothing.
There's always something to do. It's always something to do. It's always something to do.
I mean, it's a town of like maybe 200. I would say maybe 1,000 people, but it's just like a little one road town. I mean, Walmart's the biggest store they got here, so it's just like
they got a club. Trust me, they got a club.
Everything closed at 9. Everything closed at 9 o'clock. They shutting it down. But no, it's not bad. I mean. It's always nice to get away from this city. So, I don't complain that bad, but hotel life can be, a little difficult. But
I'm in it now. I'm dealing with it now. Yeah, that's how it is. But that as a younger person, though, your generation, if I was your age and traveling, going hotel to hotel, trust me, man, that'd be the life for me right about now.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Because trust me, there's something open right now. There's a jump off right there. Somebody knows. You just don't know.
I just don't know. I'm not a local. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Even with a town of 1,000 people, there's a jump off there going on right now. They partying right now.
Somebody keep throwing it down.
They wilding out right now. You just don't even know about it.
You're right.
Trust me. They getting it in. They getting it in. Even right there. You just don't know. Now, being in Iowa, though, I don't know if you want to go to that party.
Exactly. Exactly. Now you caught me. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if I'm really welcome to that.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to end up in that party because
Exactly.
you might be the entertainment.
You got that right, Action. Oh man.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, Billy. Right? If he goes to the party right now, Darius might end up being the entertainment. They be like, "Who that?
Who was
like, boy, where you come from? What you doing up in here?"
That's why I stay in this hotel. Do not leave.
No, man, you gotta go out there and just go ahead, have some fun, man. Because you might be the flavor of the month. Because they probably don't see a lot of that up there, and then the girls probably be like, "Hey, who's this?"
Right, you got that right.
Need to go out and have some fun and wild out.
Ready to go home.
Yeah, I'm sure I am too, though. Actually, and I'm close to home, and I'm ready to get out of the hotel and get back into my own bed. And again, we appreciate you guys checking us out. We got some really hot topics that we're going to get into tonight on 2Gs. Let's see. One is the George Floyd trial. As you know, the George Floyd trial, they go into their final arguments on Monday. And that's going to be really interesting on the closing arguments. And pretty much for me, I think they already really sold and wrapped their case. But we'll get into that in a minute. And what else we get into, D?
We're also getting into, I believe one of the listeners said both of the shootings that happened over this past week. We're going to touch bases on that. We're also getting that big mass shooting that happened at FedEx and some of how it kind of affects some of the gun laws that Joe Biden's been trying to pass. So those 3 big topics that we're going to touch on. Really just crazy week that happened, man, especially with all these people that shootings and happening. It's just a sad week right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of violence going on in America right now, and a lot of focus is on gun control. Once again, in the news, everybody is talking about gun control, trying to do something about the guns in America, trying to do something about the violence and everything else that is going on. So we definitely want you guys to chime in, comment if you got anything you have for us. Definitely, please put your comments down. And again, don't forget to share, like, and download the Media Room 360 app and the free Agent Radio app for our morning guy, Michael Sean, along with Jay Black, DJ Cam in the morning time. And you can check out all the shows on Media Room 360 and lock your radio down. Right, radio. I said I'm such a radio person. Lock your TV down and where you got it at, and make sure you check out all the shows. All right. So let's take a first. Let's see with David. I've noticed Darius guy is Maverick.
Yes, sir. Always.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Luka Doncic to the death.
Yeah. See, hey, David, we'll talk about that. We'll see what Darius thinks about the Mavs' opportunity coming up right now in the playoffs. You know what I mean? We'll see how it goes, and we'll get into that for sure. But right now, we're just gonna take a quick break and get back. And when we come back, we're gonna jump right into the George Floyd and the what's going on with the trial and them putting in their final arguments. So if you guys got any thoughts on that, get ready to comment on that and get ready to chime into the conversation. All right, you are checking out 2Gs right here on Media Room 360 with your man Action Jackson, along with
there he is, Scott. Yes, sir. And you got it right this time,
yeah. I'm getting confused on this camera, like which way to point. All right, and then we always got to shout out our super producer, Carly Starr, one of the Star girls that is holding it down for us back in the studio and always does her thing. All right. So 2Gs will be right back talking about George Floyd. You guys keep it right there. All right.
What up, y'all? It's Michael Sean from Michael Sean and the Takeover Legends. And just in case you missed the show, check this out. Dog, Straight Outta Rehab was a song that I made when I came straight out of rehab.
Straight out of rehab.
Straight out of rehab, a crazy alcoholic named Michael.
Michael Sean and the Takeover Legends, where the truth hurts, but also makes you laugh.
And I remember the producer didn't know if he wanted to play it because I guess it was too transparent. But my thing was I was gone for like 2 months, and they kept saying I was on vacation. I was like, damn, Howard Stern don't go on a 2-month vacation.
So you was 2 months off of the radio, you were gone, and then you popped back up.
Yeah, and Didi, the host of the show, was like, Michael Sean's on vacation, and I was like, I had to giggle at that. There was some type of law they couldn't say I was in it was some ridiculous human resource was saying something they couldn't say I was in rehab, and I was like, but I'm saying I'm telling you, you can say it. You can say I'm in rehab. So so that was the basis. Like when I was in rehab, I was writing that after I got over being in rehab, like when I got comfortable.
Michael Sean and the Takeover Legends. Your escape from reality. Right here on Free Agent Radio.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
We are back. All right. You got 2Gs with Action and Darius right now. Saturday night, 7 p.m. usually. And we pushed the show back tonight just for me because I was at my daughter's volleyball tournament. And I appreciate that you guys hanging out and coming on board with us anyway, even though we started like an hour or so late. But we normally will be here every Saturday night at 7 p.m. You're going to have us right here. All right, so let's get into this. The topic right now we are talking about for the next 3 minutes is going to be the George Floyd trial. And the final arguments coming on Monday. So give me your generational perspective on the trial so far and the closing arguments. And what do you think, D?
So I think the closing arguments, I really think the defendants are really trying to push that, George Floyd had fentanyl in his system, that the officer really didn't kill him. It wasn't his fault. So again, I don't think the officer helped the situation. I think we can all agree to that. I don't think him putting his knee on the back of that man's neck helped him in that situation. So I think the verdict, they're trying to push second-degree manslaughter or not murder. So instead of him getting a 20-year sentence or 25 to life, he might get a 10-year sentence. So what is that going to cause as far as the reaction to how the people are going to take it? How, like I said, our generation is going to take it. I think whatever sentence we're going to get, we're going to rebuttal whatever the sentence is. So, I mean, I just, people pay attention to it, whatever the argument is. I'm always down for peaceful protests. Please don't riot. Please don't destroy the city. But I'm always down for peaceful protests. Get your voices heard. But just really take some time. If you haven't watched the case, if you haven't seen any of the cases, do your research. But like I said, in my eyes, I think he's definitely guilty. He's definitely, whatever his charges end up be, I do think he needs to belong in prison. So what about you? What do you think?
Well, I'm looking at it from a different kind of generational perspective, of course, from mine, because we as African Americans have been in this struggle for a long time. You know what I mean? We have been fighting this fight for a long, long time. Now, I don't know how many people on here are watching right now. You can chime in if you want to about your age, but I'm never embarrassed about telling my age because I'm glad to be here because I know a lot of friends that I have and a lot of people that I know have not made it. And me at 57, I have seen a lot in my lifetime. And I know the year I was born in 1963, I was born and I didn't even have civil rights. The Civil Rights Act didn't come into play until 1965. So I couldn't even have the same equal rights as typical and normal Americans when I was born. That didn't come for me until I was almost 2 years old, that I was considered equal almost amongst the typical Americans. So my generation has been fighting this fight for a long, long time. And just for your generation, I'm hoping you guys will pick up the mantle and try to run with it and try to keep this fight going, because you can see right now from your lifetime till now, I mean, there's just no justice for us. I mean, because you can look at your life right now and see how many black men have been shot by the police since you've been alive. how many black men have been unjustly killed. And again, it was way worse, I think, when I was your age and younger. But the difference is we just didn't have the internet to show it all. See, right now the internet, social media is allowing everybody to see what is actually going on and has been going on. So as far as the closing arguments in this trial is concerned, I'm hoping that the jury will see the evidence that's been presented and forget all the other BS that has been presented in the trial from the defense's side it could have been carbon monoxide. I mean, come on, really? Like the knee on the neck had nothing to do with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like him being in the prone position, handcuffed with 3 guys on you, had nothing to do with this man's death. And to me, that's just ludicrous for us all to watch it on video, all 9 minutes plus of it. And then we have to come up with the conclusion that, well, it wasn't the knee on the neck.
Exactly.
I mean, that's just kind of like ridiculous to me. And I just think that hopefully, again, that the jury will see the evidence that was presented and judge this man accordingly. And to me, I want to echo what you said, though. Regardless of what the decision is, regardless of what happens in the trial, we have to remember we have to remain nonviolent. As violent as we want to get, and as much as we want to get violent, and as mad as we will be, if the decision is not what it should be, we can't take matters into our own hands, because that's never going to help in any situation whatsoever. It's just going to make it worse, and it's just going to give them ammunition. Just like when the former president, Darius's favorite buddy, was in office, and he would call out the National Guard in Seattle, and wanted to call out the National Guard in some other situations. I mean, this is all the stuff that they're looking for. They want black people to go rah-rah, so it'll give them an excuse to call out the police and the National Guard and to get all crazy with you guys anyway. So again, as much as we will be heated about this decision, if it doesn't go that way, it's not going to help anybody or anyone if we become violent because we're mad at the situation. And I just don't think people should get violent about anything like in that situation, because again, it's not going to help you.
Right, and that's the main thing I want to push on is, especially I know when it comes to, because if it's anything, it's my generation is out there doing the rioting and the looting. So I mean, that's my main thing I want to push is
what's up with your people?
That's my main thing I want to push is, if you're pay attention to it. Please don't destroy your city, because again, that's doing more harm than good. And half these companies you're destroying are black-owned companies. So it's like, are you really fighting the cause, or are you just trying to get free stuff? So it's like, just relax, peaceful protest, get your signs, march with the people. Don't do no riot. And that's the only thing I want to push on. Yeah,
you have a right to be upset. I don't want to take that away from anybody. You have a right to be upset if you're upset about the decision, if you're upset about what's going on. Kathy, tell him again. Like, his generation don't want to hear that. His generation wants to just get rah-rah, get some free stuff, bust up some stores and stuff like that. Not that we didn't do that. Now, I'm not jumping on your generation for being the way you are, because we did that same thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like when MLK,
Rodney King.
Yeah, well, Rodney King, MLK, when they got shot, I mean, we went ham. We did. Mm-hmm. Tell me it was Rodney King.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, Billy. It's true, right? It's like our generation really ain't no better than Darius's generation when it comes to that. But I mean, again, people have a right to be mad and they have a right to be upset because this is just it's blatant and it's going on and we see it. And we just want to be able to have equality. And it's very upsetting when you know that the justice system is not just. That's just the bottom line. And I don't know what we got to do about that. Maybe that's something that we can work on as a people and work on something as a society, that we need to make this justice system a lot more equal to African Americans, because it's really not just, because this trial should have been over with like a week ago.
Exactly. A week ago.
Yeah, at least a week ago or so.
Exactly.
Because it was really kind of obvious.
Yeah, you got the defense bringing up, like you said, carbon monoxide. Oh, it was fentanyl. Oh, it was this. It was that. No, I think we know what it was. Y'all just don't want to agree to it. But
hey, I'm gonna have to put on pause for a second. You go ahead and talk, because somebody's knocking at the door, and I think they're for my daughter, but she's in the bathroom, so I got to get this door real quick. But you guys go ahead and discuss amongst yourself. Here's the topic: George Floyd.
Yeah, so I mean, I get back to it. I think we all knew what it was, but I think, like I said, the defense was just trying to throw out these bogus claims. It was this, it was that, but like you said, this trial should have been over before it even started. So, I mean, it really is a sad situation. But again, back to this harping on whatever the verdict is, please don't. I know it's going to happen. Whatever city is going to happen, Portland, Indianapolis, Dallas, please don't riot. But again, you have every right to be upset.
Sorry about that. They were actually bringing my daughter some towels.
Because it is unfair. Hey, you gotta get your towels, man.
Yeah. Hotel life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, I mean, but again, we'll find out on Monday in the closing arguments. I think personally, myself, I think the defense did an excellent job. I mean, not the defense, the prosecution did an excellent job as far as putting on this case is concerned. Because again, I was if I had not saw the tape, I would have been thoroughly convinced by the testimony from the witnesses, the experts, and everybody else that participated for the prosecution side. And I think it was just open and shut, really. And you're right, Kathy. The justice system has failed us numerous times, numerous times, and too many times for us to even recount. But my quick question to you before we get on switch out topics real quick is, honestly, what do you think, or what would you like your generation to do? I mean, as far as like stepping up to the plate at this time and at this moment, besides tearing up stuff and doing all that stuff, I mean, on a positive side, what would you like your generation to step up and do at this moment, regardless whether he's guilty or not guilty? I mean, what do you think your generation should step up and do?
I mean, I was kind of wanting to touch on this the next part, but I'll get into it a little bit. But I think it goes back to, coming together as a community. Honestly, people don't know that most of these judges are voted in. So you have the right to vote who your judge is going to be. So, really getting out there and voting and, voting these judges, these senators, these people that represent you, to not just to vote just because, they're Democrat or Republican, but really get into what these people believe in. Get into what are these people going to do for you, not what you can do for them. So I think that's part of one of the main reasons. Get out voting, get in the community. I think another part of it is, stop killing each other as far as the community, stop black on black violence. I think that's another big thing that we can kind of get into that's, kind of a little off topic, but, stop killing each other, come together as a community, black, white, indifferent. I think we all need to come in and just listen and not try to voice your own opinion, but try to listen to everybody else's opinion and not get upset at whatever this person thinks. So but see that.
That's the big
It's more
thing,
easier
though.
said than done.
No, it's not easier said than done. But see, that's the thing about your generation, though, and that's just a known fact. You guys just do not come out and vote. You guys don't believe in the system. You don't want to vote. You think the government is crazy, and yeah, you guys are the ones who think that this whole voting thing is nothing. Like when I talk to people from your generation, why should I vote? My vote don't count. I mean, that's all. That's all.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, that's all I hear. Like I'm like, hold up. Like my generation, people died for your right to vote. People have protested for your right to vote, and people have sacrificed beyond. So your generation can have the right to vote and make these decisions. And again, I always tell people when they tell me my vote doesn't count, I always tell them, yeah, if you don't vote, your vote doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Yeah, your vote don't count. So,
exactly.
So that's pretty prophetic that you calling out your own future when you saying like, hey, my vote don't count. Why should I vote? My vote don't count. Yeah, because you're not using it.
Right.
So of course
I think
not.
Part of that is, because they don't, even when I was in school, they don't really teach you, that to vote, to go out and vote. So I think some of that is part of the public school system, because they don't teach you, will never tell you, when you're 18, you need to go vote. They'll teach you about the electoral college and, how it works. But, they don't ever teach you, hey, when you're 18, you need to go vote. Not you're 18, of course, go to college. But there's other things when you turn 18 that you can do, It's not just, hey, you need to go to college.
Well, that's all a part of the system, though. That's all a part of
right.
of the curriculum that they took out of schools, like civics and stuff like that, because of the simple fact that knowledge is power. If you knew you can vote at 18, or they taught, hey, you need to get out and vote at 18, then you would use your vote.
Exactly.
And your vote matters and it counts, but it doesn't count as an individual. You got to remember that too as well. Your vote doesn't count as an individual. It counts as a collective. So you say my vote doesn't count. Maybe it doesn't, or maybe it doesn't matter. And then you don't utilize your vote, but then that takes away from the collective. And then that hurts everybody, because your vote does count as a collective. And individually, you should just be a part of that whole collective. All right. Well, cool. Hey, again, we're looking for the George Floyd trial. And if you haven't been watching the trial, make sure you check out Monday, because they will be doing their closing arguments in the George Floyd trial. So coming up next on 2Gs, we're going to get into the FedEx shooting. Is that right, Carly? Is that what you had up there? The FedEx?
Yeah, FedEx shootings, yeah.
Yeah, the FedEx shooting and what happened at FedEx. And if you haven't heard about what happened with the FedEx shooting, we're going to hip you up to that and give you our thoughts and our perspective on that coming up next on 2Gs. Right here on Media Room 360. You guys keep it right there.
Yes.
What up, y'all? It's Michael Sean from Michael Sean and the Takeover Legends. And just in case you missed the show, check this out. Hold up, Claudia. You made that, or is that an Uber Eats, or is that?
Look, like she don't cook. Look at her face. Like
I just wanted to make sure you made that.
Michael Sean and the Takeover Legends, where the truth hurts, but also makes you laugh.
I made breakfast. Look, I hooked it up. I had some home fries.
Oh damn!
That's real breakfast.
Mushrooms in it, and peppers, and jalapenos, and some bacon. I was like, if I'm gonna be up this early, I'm gonna make some breakfast. How y'all doing this morning?
Hey,
KJ. How did you like that? They said, you made that? I said, they asked if it was Uber Eats. Can you tell the fellas?
Uber Eats.
Was that Uber Eats, KJ? Keep it real. Keep it 100.
No, that's not Uber Eats. I cooked that.
Michael Sean and the Takeover Legends, your escape from reality, right here on Free Agent Radio.
That's the morning show right there. Michael Sean, you got Jay Black, you got DJ Cam, and that was that show with Claudia Jordan and her beau KJ. I love Claudia Jordan too. Can I just say that? Yeah. That is my best friend I never met. She's always kept it 100. I follow her on Instagram too. You guys got to follow her on Instagram. and she goes live, and then she's an open book. She really is, and really good people. All right, so this is 2Gs. Every Saturday night, you got me, Action Jackson from Big Bink's Break Room Podcast, along with my man. I see it wrong side again.
Yeah, we're gonna get it right one day, Action.
Yeah, I get that. I get the whole stage left thing right one time. And you got Darius Scott right there, and we are two generations. I represent the older generation, and D represent the younger generation. And we just thought we'd come together with this podcast to discuss, what's happening in the world from two different perspectives on how we see things. And sometimes we're not going to see things the same way. and we don't. let's just put that out there right now. We don't.
Not at all.
On everything we don't. And we're going to have our discussions about a lot of topics and a lot of things that are going on. And so make sure you tell your friends to tell a friend to download the Media Room 360 app. It is free. Make sure you like and share this podcast. Definitely hit it with the likes and let us know. And you are free to comment on anything that we're talking about, because we definitely want your comments and want your feedback, because that's important to us, because we want to know what you guys think about what we're talking about, because it is an open discussion that we're trying to have here and talk about what's going on. So get into the FedEx shooting. Tell everybody what happened with that.
So, I mean, it popped up on my news story a couple of days ago. And it was honestly sad to even look at it. I mean, somebody basically came in.
Kathy put you out there. I'm sorry.
Came in with the
that's your generation.
Oh man, came in with the assault rifle and unfortunately killed 8 people. So I mean, first and foremost, our prayers go out to those families. I mean, that's just a messed up thing to even do. And then the man shot himself. So I mean, he doesn't even get to face the people that face the families that he affected. So I mean, honestly, it's just a messed up situation. So kind of tied in this, I want to touch on, some of these gun laws and how do these mass shootings affect, these gun laws, and how does your generation and my generation how does that affect both of us really?
Yeah. Before we get to that, let me just throw a side note. Can I just say that's some punk ass when a shooter kills himself?
Yeah, for sure.
That is not heroic to me. That is not being macho. You could shoot yourself. The thing about it is, I wish you live and go through the whole justice system and then deal with it in prison, because you're definitely going to jail, because killing yourself is a coward. You're right, Kathy. It's a coward's way to go. And pulling the trigger on yourself, to me is just crazy. And just real quick too, prayers out to all the families, all those that have been affected by the shooting, because it's always too much. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just the shootings itself and the loss of life. You just can't quantify that. I mean, because now you got families affected all over. You got moms and dads that are missing people. You got brothers and sisters that are going to miss people, and all kind of family members, all over senseless violence. Now, do we know why he came in there and started shooting? We don't know, because he shot himself, right?
That's the messed up part is that they don't. Most of these. There was one a couple weeks ago where it was the man came in with the Asians. And he shot up a bunch of Asian places, so you kind of knew that what his agenda was. He wanted to. It was a racial thing, but this one, it was just. I mean, I don't know what the ethnicity is of these people that died, but yeah, it seemed like he just was deranged and just came in and just said, "Hey, I'm gonna decide to shoot up this FedEx and go out." So that's the sad part. We don't even know what his intentions were. So that's the real messed up part too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of tension going on in America right now for some reason, and we understand why. We understand what's going on. Right. I mean, America has really become a seriously divided nation on what's going on, thanks to your buddy.
Oh man. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it this way: America actually, though, is not Donald Trump's fault.
Right.
America's always been divided. All he did was bring the division up to the surface. All he did was give it a okay license to say, if you racist, if you crazy, if you are that renegade type, it's okay. It's okay to come on out right now, because that's all he really did. I mean, he okayed the craziness, and nobody else ever gave it a voice, and no president in history has given it a voice. Because there's been mass shootings with every president. There's been killings on everybody's watch, but the difference is, again, he never really denounced it or was really like forthright about saying, hey, this is the wrong thing to do. This is not what we should be doing. This is not the direction we should be going in as a country. And again, it's tough. And it's tough for Biden right now trying to unite the country, because the divisions are there. They're noted and they're sown. So it's going to be different. And as far as like the gun laws and everything else is concerned, like, you know me, and I told you, and I'll tell everybody else again, I carry a gun.
So do I.
Yeah, I have my CHL. I've had my CHL for a while, and it was one of the, actually, when I moved to Texas, this is one of the first things I wanted to do, because I was like, man, I'm coming to the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
I'm coming to Texas. I need to get me a gun. And
okay, so I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
but I'll ask you. So, do you think? 'Cause I know Texas just passed that new gun law where you don't need a license to open carry. So, do you think that it would would cause more mass shootings, or do you think it would de-escalate more mass shootings? That now people have the ability to open carry without having a permit?
No, I mean, I don't think. I don't think it's going to change anything, you know, because again, we've had this discussion. I don't know if I had this discussion with you, but I'll tell you, and you out there listening, you know, if you ever see a shooting jump off, if you ever see a situation pop off like that, even in Texas, people run.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine how many people got guns in the crowd. As soon as the shooting starts, people start running. They ain't about that. They're not about that life. You know what I'm saying? You want to get the you want to open carry. Action, I don't blame you being strapped. Like, hey, you right, David. I'm telling you right now. I say that way.
Be, though.
I say that way. I pull out. I'm in Houston right now. I'll pull out my piece right now.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I go nowhere without it. Nowhere. Because if it pops off, I'm popping off with it. I ain't gonna be that one running. I'm gonna be standing right there, like, okay, what's going on? You know what I mean? So it's like, again, people with these open carry laws, I mean, I don't think it's gonna change anything. Because again, if the shooting starts, we're gonna find out who's who real quick. Because if you ain't about that life, and not saying that I'm not saying I'm a gangster, but if I got a gun, I ain't running.
Right. I'm protecting myself with the bare minimum.
Yeah. You're not gonna shoot me in the back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You're not gonna shoot me in the back while I'm trying to run away or nothing like that. No, if I got a gun, I'm not running. I'm taking cover. I'm trying to find some cover, and then I'm gonna get ready. That's all I'm gonna do. So it's like you come my way, you're gonna catch some hot ones. I'm telling you that right now. So, and that's just the way it is. Because again, I'm not gonna go out getting shot in the back, and then the coroner's looking at me, the police are looking at me, and they're like, man, he had a gun on him. Like,
why he can't use it? What this?
Yeah. Why he running? He had a gun. Yeah. So
exactly.
Yeah, but and then on the open carry laws too, I have it concealed, and the reason I have it, and the reason I chose to get it concealed is because if it does pop off, I don't want nobody to know I'm armed. You know what I mean? Because the shooter could be next to me.
Mm-hmm.
I could be the first
He
one.
gonna take you out first. Exactly.
He could be the first one. He's shooting at. I could be that one because he's like, oh, this dude's strapped. He needs to go first. So no, I keep mine concealed. So if it pops off, you don't know, and you don't know the lead's coming from my way because it's gonna be coming from my way. So again,
I'll touch on a point that I think Miss Kathy said as far as like our generation and having guns. I mean, I think with anybody having guns, I think it's a mindset. I mean, you have to be responsible and know what that gun is capable of. Because again, anybody that has a gun needs to safety is first. You know, never point a gun at somebody. If you're going to hand a gun to somebody, make sure that clip is out. Make sure there's not one in the chamber. I think safety comes first with any generation when it comes to guns. I mean, I don't care if you're 18 or 50. I mean, safety is always first when it comes to guns in my book.
Yeah, I think you know what, I hate to put it like this, and I could be wrong. You could tell me I'm wrong. You could be like, actually, nah, man. But see, your generation grew up on too much Call of Duty.
No, I agree with you. Call of Duty, GTA.
Yeah, they think it's a game. No, Dave, don't roll over play dead because they're gonna
do that.
They don't care. They're gonna make sure. They're gonna double tap you and make sure.
Mm-hmm.
Only reason I'm rolling over playing, I ain't playing dead. I'm gonna have to be dead because again, if it jumps off, I'm pulling it out. But back to that, I think your generation seriously has really fantasized about this whole situation with guns, with violence, and everything else because it's so much of a video game to them. It's like a reset, like it's not really real. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but I mean, I don't know.
No, I definitely agree with you on that. Because I mean, even my parents, I mean, I didn't get to play GTA or nothing like that. So I was at least 15, 16. So I mean, you got kids playing Call of Duty, all these M-rated games and Team Plus games while they're 10 years old. I can hop on Call of Duty right now and find an 8-year-old trying to cuss me out because I killed him. So it's like, no, I definitely agree with you on, these video games definitely have a high impact on these mindset of these kids because they do think it's a video game. But in real life, you only got one life. Ain't no coming back after you get shot.
It's no reset.
There's no revive. Yeah, there's no revive. Your buddy ain't coming to get you.
You can't power up.
Yeah.
There's no health pills or nothing like that you can find underneath the chest. It's none of that stuff right there. So again, I just think like with what's going on with the guns and the violence, I just think people need to really be more responsible. I think if they come out with some new gun laws and other restrictions like that, I mean, I don't know if it's going to help or going to hurt. As far as Texas and they're not needed license to carry, I mean, it's just a scary thing. Because I'll tell you a quick story. When I went to my CHL class, it was a bunch of people in my CHL class, and for those of you who don't know, when you take your CHL class, you got to shoot too at the range, right, D?
Yep. Bring whatever gun that you can handle. Yep.
There were a couple of ladies in there in my class that had never owned or touched a gun before, and were taking a CHL class to own a gun. Now that's some scary ish right there.
Yep, that's where it gets scary.
Yeah, you got people like that who've never owned, touched, and then when we had to fire at the range, they didn't even hit the target. And I'm like, whoa! I'm gonna be out here with these kind of people. You know what I mean? So that's just a scary thought right there. So again, if you're gonna get a gun, if you're gonna have your CHL, if you're gonna just get a gun, period, just take some time, practice, go to the range, get comfortable with your gun, and understand the power that you have in your hands right now, because you have the power to take somebody's life, and it can happen in an instant, just like that. All right. Hey, we're running back. So Again, Media Room 360. This is 2Gs every Saturday night, 7 p.m. You got your man Darius and myself, Action Jackson. We're running a little late tonight because of the volleyball tournament I was at here in Houston. But 7 p.m. Saturday nights, you got us right here. And we're discussing topics and giving our perspective from two different generations. And what we got coming up next from our super producer, Carly. What's the next topic?
She got it up.
Yeah, we don't have it up. What's the last topic?
The last topic I'll speak on. It's the two shootings that happened over the week with the Minneapolis, with the one that thought it was a taser, and there was another one that was a 13-year-old boy. He got shot by an officer.
Yeah, right.
So,
okay.
Yeah, we'll discuss them too.
All right, so we're going to discuss those two topics coming up next. If you guys got any comments on those and you want to chime in on those, feel free. Remember to download the app Media Room 360. It is free. You're going to get all the content that we got on Media Room 360, and share and like and tell a friend to tell a friend about Media Room 360. And make sure you check all the shows out on Media Room 360. Got a gang of shows that we are on here. All right. So 2Gs will be back in a minute, and we're going to be talking about the Minneapolis shooting and get your perspective on that. All right. Keep it right there. All right, that was a short break.
Right.
What if I had to go to the bathroom? No, just joking.
Right. No, we're all good. We back.
Yeah, thank you, Carly, our super producer, Carly Starr, one of the Star girls. All right, and this is 2Gs. We are back in right now. We're about to get into the Minneapolis shooting, because that was again another crazy shooting that happened to another unfortunate black man, and I think that the lady just straight killed him. I'm just gonna cut to the chase and say that. All right.
No, she straight up, she put out her gun and killed that man.
And you know what I've been doing though since that shooting happened, and you guys could do this too out there. Since that shooting happened, and she said she confused her taser with a gun. All I've been doing is looking at police officers and looking at their tasers and their guns when I see them. And I see how their gun is positioned, and I see how their taser is positioned. I see how the taser looks as opposed to how the gun looks, which I know how it looks. And I'm like, thinking to myself, how did this woman confuse that?
Exactly. Because a lot of people, if you don't know, if you're left-handed, your gun goes on your dominant hand. If you're right-handed, it goes on your dominant hip. Your taser goes on your less dominant. So if you're right-handed, it's gonna go on your left side. If you're left-handed, it's gonna go on your right side. So again, and even I think the weight is even different. I think the gun pretty sure weighs heavier than the taser. It looks different. The taser is bright yellow. So and to even say she was on the force for what? 26 years.
Yeah,
you got rookies that don't even make that mistake. So it's like, come on.
Yeah, I'm not buying the whole it was the wrong thing. And again, if you look at the video itself, if you time it out, she's holding the gun up for a minute.
Yeah.
She's holding the gun up for a second. You can see the gun clearly in the video, and you can see it's a gun. I could tell. Even if I didn't own a gun, I could tell. She's holding that gun up for a while before she decides to shoot and starts yelling taser, taser. Yeah. And if I could tell in that split second that I see that gun in the video, if you watch the video, if I can tell, I don't know how she cannot tell.
Exactly.
I'm not trained. I'm not an officer.
Exactly.
I can look at that video and say, like, hey, that's a gun. That's not a taser.
Mhm.
And she tell a taser, and she shoots the man. And you know, so again, what do you think should happen? I mean, she's been charged, so she's going to go to trial.
Right.
But your generation, I mean, like, this is again a situation where you guys are gonna have to step up and demand change.
Right. So I think it goes on both parts, because yes, she intentionally, she pulled out her gun. She should have pulled out her taser. But to play devil's advocate, I kind of talked about what we talked in our last show, and it's sad to say, but if he wouldn't have resisted and if he wouldn't have tried to escape, he probably would still be alive. So I think it comes with the fact that, don't, as far as my generation, don't always try to put up that defense. Don't always try to live to see another day. It's basically what I'm saying. Don't always, he was going to go to jail. He's probably going to do some time, but you'll still be alive. So again, the officer shouldn't have shot him. That's the main part. She should have never shot him in the first place. That shouldn't be the last line of resort. But, start policing yourself. Start policing the community. Start policing your kids. That, hey, don't always run. Don't always try to run, because these police aren't going to look after you, as you can see. These police they're not going to be, let's try to save this life. No, they don't care about who you are, what you are. So you got to care about yourself at the end of the day. So, you got to think about your mom, your kids. Yeah, I want to live to see another day. So if this is what they want to do, they want to take me to jail, okay. So I think it comes back to policing yourself, and you got to police the police as well, because it's not just us. They need training. Obviously, their system needs more training. You got 26-year-old vets thinking their guns are tasers. So I think we need to really work on police reform, get better training. If you even simple as you shouldn't be able to have a gun on a police force until a certain amount of experience. And even, I don't even know if that's the case, because in this situation, it didn't seem like experience helped the situation at all. So, I mean, I think we really just have to sit down and, really think of some reform that on both parts. I don't think it's just the police. I think it's police and, some of us have to take some blame as far as this too. I think, especially in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you on that to a point where, he shouldn't have ran. He wouldn't have did no jail time. It was only a warrant. He would have got out on that like that same night. But I don't think he should have. I don't think he should have ran. I don't think especially again, when the police are putting the handcuffs on you, like they were putting the handcuffs. It's over. It's a wrap. I mean, you might as well go ahead and take that L and just go ahead and live to fight another day. But it's like running is never going to help in that situation. And I agree that the police officer shouldn't have shot him, and that should have been. That shouldn't have even been an option. That shouldn't even been on the table, especially when you had 3 other officers right there.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Yeah, so you had 2 officers fighting him.
And the one on the other side.
Yeah. 2 officers fighting one guy, and then you're a third police officer coming in there, and then you're going to feel or think to yourself, okay, I'm going to shoot this guy.
Right.
Like that made no sense, because first of all, in order for him to get to you, he would have to get through those other 2 officers, and he wasn't getting through them. No. So again, I think she overreacted, and whatever kind of experience or training that she had, it just went out the door.
Out the window.
Yeah. But I don't think it was a mistake. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. That's my personal opinion. It's not the views of Media Room 360. It's not the views of Darius. It's the views of Action. On my planet, on Action Planet, she intentionally shot him. Right. And that's just the bottom line, because again, there was no reason for her, number one, to pull out her gun, because he was no immediate threat. Right. And she pulled out, and it was even no reason to tase him.
Right. Yeah, I mean, at that point, if anything, just I mean, just let him go. I mean, y'all can chase him, you know, in your car if that's what you're really doing. But to tase him or to shoot him, or if any of y'all, like I said, you had 2 officers on him. So if y'all can't restrain him with 2 officers, come on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They didn't even have to chase after him. It was like what was it, like 4 or 5 cops that beat Rodney King's ass one-on-one?
Exactly.
So it's like, why you didn't have to tase him, you didn't have to shoot him, you could have just pulled him out the car and beat his ass. I mean, because you had the numbers.
Right.
Like if you that scared as a police officer, and maybe that might have been her first situation. That may have been the first time she's been in a rah-rah situation in her 26 years. Where she was like, okay, what's gonna happen right now? I don't know. I just know that it was no call to either tase him or shoot him or do anything else, because they could have pepper sprayed him just like they did the lieutenant. Anything.
Exactly. You know? Yeah, pepper spray is not lethal force. That's the last option. Especially he's unarmed. They didn't have no gun in the car, weapons. So it's like, what? Why? So I mean, do you know what happened with the other situation with the 13-year-old?
No. What happened with the 13-year-old?
So just some little information. Apparently, there was a 13-year-old boy. He was out. It's like 3:00 in the morning.
Oh yeah,
roaming around this. There was some gunshots fired. They called the cops. They found him. He had a gun on him. Apparently, he had the officer, had his weapon drawn. He told him to put the gun down. So he had his one hand up and the gun behind his back. So apparently, as he was dropping the gun, or he was trying to raise his hand and drop the gun at the same time, this officer fired and shot and killed him. Yeah. So it was kind of like, that one's kind of tough because it's like, dang.
No, it's not that tough, actually.
I mean, I feel you, but it's tough as far as like the whole situation. As far as a 13-year-old kid got to go out like that. Like, as far as that. Of course, again, prayers out to his family, but it's not that tough. I mean, I'm not co-signing with the cop because again, if you are that fearful, maybe you should think about another profession. Right.
Again, I know things can happen in an instant, and I know that young man could have been pulling up the gun to shoot the cop or shoot at the cop. But if you have your gun drawn and a beat on somebody, I don't care if they got a gun behind their back and they're raising it up. By the time you see them pointing it at you, there's plenty of time to make that decision.
Especially on a 13-year-old kid.
Her excuse was the worst excuse I've ever heard. If she didn't know a difference between a gun and a taser, then she is in wrong career field. David, exactly. Totally agree. Because again, exactly right. There you go. It's like if you that fearful, you need a new job. I mean, that's just my bottom line. And I spent 8 years in the Army, and I tell you, when I joined the Army, the first thought mentally I had with myself, and this was at 18 because I joined at 18. I signed up to die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I realized
I signed up for the Navy, so I know what you went through.
Yeah. So when you sign up, if you realize and you understand what you're going into and getting into, you have to go in with that mental state of mind. I just signed up to die. Not that I want to die, not that I'm looking forward to death,
right?
But if I'm joining a profession like this, if I'm joining a society like this, I'm forfeiting my life. I'm saying I'm willing to die. I'm willing to go out if that's what it takes or if that's what happens. And that's what most police have to understand, I think. And again, that's just on Planet Action. That's how we think on Planet Action. We think that way. And maybe on your planet and on your world, you might think differently. But on Planet Action, I think of that. I think to myself, or at least I thought that to myself when I joined the military. I was like, okay, there's a chance I could die. And I was cool with that because that's what I signed up for. And again, I don't want to die. Nobody wants to.
Right.
But that's what I signed up for. So I realized mentally off the break, it could happen. So I was at peace with that thought. So again, maybe police need to be at peace with their decision when they decide to join the police department. Like, hey, I could die, and I don't want to die, but I could, and
right.
I got to be at peace with that.
I think a problem with some of these officers is that some of these you hate to say it, but some of these officers they maybe was bullied when they was kids, they maybe was tormented, so when they get that authority, they get that authority get to their head, so now they feel like they can take it out on other people, and unfortunately those other people is most of the time Black kids. So it's a messed up situation.
Well, I think it goes back to like what you were saying earlier. That's all a part of the training. That's how they train. That's how they train you as an officer to take control, to be dominant, to be non-fearful, to be commanding, to be in control of the situation. And in order to be in control, you have to be the aggressor. You don't have you can't be passive to people. And maybe we have some police officers listening right now. Maybe they can tell me, hey, actually, you are wrong. They don't teach us that. But from what I know, from what I see, and from what I understand, that is trained in you. That is that training. You have to be aggressive. And again, maybe they need to work on their training and be more passive instead of so aggressive. And we got to get into this one time.
What's up?
Because it started with your generation, with this whole defunding the police thing. So we got to figure. I want to find out what you think about that. Like I'm not for defunding the police. Just want to say that.
Oh.
But I do think it does need to be changes within the police department and the services that they do, and they have to realize that they work for us. Right. We pay their salaries.
Right. So no, I don't know. I'm with you. I don't. As far as my generation, I know what you're talking about, but no, I personally don't agree with defunding the police. I mean, because you even take a situation like I think they tried it in New York. They took away some of their police funds, and that city went to crap. So I mean, that's just a little small example of what happens when you try to defund the police. But no, it needs to be reformed. Again, like you said, they need to learn that they work for us. And back to kind of what you said, that training that comes off as so aggressive. They come and they try to control the situation instead of try to diffuse the situation. What can I do to try to help the situation, not add more problems to the situation?
Yeah.
So again, I also think it's on both sides. I think we need to police ourselves as well. I don't think it's just we need to police the police and try to fix all their problems. I think it goes back to our side as well. Don't always try to put up that defense mechanism when you get pulled over automatically. Oh, am I gonna get shot today, or am I going? Is this cop gonna what is this cop gonna do to me now? And it's like, well, no, just go through the process. If you see something that is illegal or wrong, okay. If he does something that is not right, fight it in court. Take it to court. That's what the court is for. Don't try to run. Don't try to like you said last time. You're not gonna win. You're not gonna stand justice a trial on the street.
You can't have trial on the street. Yeah, and
right.
You can't get pulled over thinking it's the Hunger Games all the time.
Exactly. I mean, even I got pulled over out here. I was going 70 on a 55, and the cop pulled me over, some white cop. And even then, you're taught not to reach for anything. He said, "Do you have your wallet?" And I, reached him, not thinking nothing of it. Reached in my wallet, reached in my thing, pulled out my wallet. He didn't say nothing. So it's like not every cop has that mindset of, oh, he's trying to kill me. He's trying to kill me. Oh, out here, pull out my gun. Yeah. So every situation is different. So
it is, and you have to act accordingly. But again, you're never going to win. You're never going to have court on the street because cops aren't lawyers. They aren't judges, and so if they're doing something to you, then again, you have to take it to the next level. All right. Hey, you guys, we appreciate you guys checking us out, and definitely thank you so much. We really do appreciate you guys tuning in to 2Gs. And don't forget, every Saturday night, 7 p.m., we are live right here on Media Room 360. Make sure you download the app. Make sure you download the Free Agent Radio app. And make sure you always join in and
YouTube,
chime
check us
in.
out on YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube, Roku,
Yep.
with Apple. And so and you can catch us on a lot of mediums, and we are here for you. And then thank you so much for everybody that joined in on the conversation tonight. We'll call you out, but honestly, I don't remember everybody except for Kathy and David and Billy. I remember Billy too. But everybody, thank you so much again for joining us every Saturday. We really appreciate the love and the support. And make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend that we are here for you every Saturday night. Any last thoughts, Steve, before we get out?
No, I'm good. Just thank you. Again, whatever happens on Monday, please peaceful protest. Don't do nothing stupid. By all means, use your right to peaceful protest. I hope everybody has a good week, and just thank you.
Yeah, even if it goes the way we would like it to go, there's no reason to wild out for that, because remember, even if the man is convicted and sent to jail, it's not bringing George Floyd back. It's not going to rectify that family situation. Even the $27 million that they got, it's a good chunk of change. But that I could promise you, all of them would probably give up that $27 million if they can have George back. And it's like, so again, if it goes our way, there's no reason to really celebrate right then. There's no reason to be happy, tear up stuff. We just have to realize that this time the justice system worked.
It worked.
It worked. And that's all it is. So, every time it doesn't work. All right. So again, we're out of here next Saturday. Make sure you tune in. 7:00 we'll be on time, and we'll be right here with 2Gs. So on behalf of my man Darius, Action Jackson, and our super producer Carly Starr, we'll see you next Saturday right here on 2Gs Media Room 360.
Signing off.
See ya.
Yes.
We'll be right back.